Hey everyone, we have decided to show you one of our secrets to low carb lifestyle. So if you're anything like us, you switch to low carb and all of a sudden your body's like, please sugar, sweets, anything sweet to go with any of this. Because like, especially for me, I feel like low carb has a lot of sodium to it. So then my body goes, hey, let's have something sweet. So today I'm gonna show you how I make my sugar-free pumpkin spice mousse. I am actually going to show you two ways how we do this. Now, honestly, this is mostly going to be like a flavored whipping cream, which some mousse consistencies, depending on the recipe you use, that's basically all it is. I'm not saying all of them are, just I've seen some recipes and that's basically what they are. So basically that is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take heavy whipping cream, make it like Cool Whip, but instead of making it in a Cool Whip, we're gonna make it thicker and we're gonna flavor it with the pumpkin pie sugar-free Torani. I keep wanting to call it pumpkin spice. It's not. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna add this, and I prefer the Aldi's brand because it is the only one that has 0 grams of carbs. So if you're watching your carb count, this is a perfect way to do it. If you can get it with just 0 and you wanted to add just a little bit more carbs to it and add a little bit more pumpkin flavor, you could add like a tablespoon of pumpkin. I can't remember off the top of my head what the carb count for that is, but that is one way you can do it. But I'm literally just going to show you how we're doing it. We're going to pour this in here. You're going to get like 2 teaspoons of the pumpkin pie sugar-free Torani, and we whip it all up. The other thing I'm going to do while it's doing that is I'm going to show you how we also make it, and we use the same, almost the same process, and make a milk foam at home using the Toranis. Now for this one, I'm actually going to use, you know what? I normally use French vanilla, but I think I'm actually going to try it with the brown sugar cinnamon. This is also a glass bottle, but I think I want to try that. I want to try doing milk foam with the brown sugar cinnamon, a little bit of sea salt that's not on here. I'll show you that in a minute. And this is one of my favorite like fall time teas. It's orange and spice. It's orange, so it's kind of citrusy, which is summery, but the spice in it has a nice fall flavor to it. So I'm going to make this in a tea in my Disney Cruise mug. This one is where I'm going to be making the milk foam. I prefer using the coffee mugs for making milk foam because I feel like you can watch the consistency a lot easier in this than you can even like this is my favorite bowl for doing the mousse because it's deep and it's also tall. It's, you know, it's deep, but it's also not like really wide of a bowl. It's tall and deep. I don't know, it's hard to explain that, but this is like the perfect bowl because of that. So this will be for the mousse, and then I'm going to do the milk foam in here, and let's make some tea in here. That is all the fuller I'm going to put it because I have to remind myself to do this, so I figured I'd remind you all too. You need to leave room for that milk foam on top. So that's as full as it's going to be, and we're going to heat it up. While that's heating, number one, yes, I actually do have a tea kettle, but whenever I'm doing it for just me, which I am just for filming purposes right now, I usually just nuke the water because it just is quicker to do that. Let's go ahead and work on the mousse while the water is heating, and I'm going to put about that much in. So what we've found from heavy whipping cream is when you're making it into a Cool Whip, mousse, whatever, you probably want to count on it doubling in size before you're finished. Like that doesn't look like much, but when you go to whip it, it's going to look like a lot more than you think. So plan on putting half of what you think you would actually use or eat before, you know, when you go to pour it in. I'm actually going to move these dishes over because one trick I have found with doing like Cool Whip, if you don't have a blender like or a mixer like we do, we have an immersion blender, so we use that. We find that if you do it in the sink, whenever it splashes, it's easier to clean up than it is on the counter. So let's transfer those over, and oh, let me go ahead and add this, and then we're going to transfer everything over and start mixing up, and I need both hands to take this lid off. So like I said, 2 teaspoons to a tablespoon. I've actually got to where I can pretty much eyeball it to where, like, as it starts to change the color and consistency at the top of the heavy whipping cream a little bit, I know that that's about as much sweetener as I normally like. So there are 2 settings in our immersion blender. There's a slow setting that you can change the different speeds on, or there's the turbo. I just usually use turbo. right, there we go. Reason why I pulled it up and then put it back down was so I could check it, and that looks about like the consistency that I normally do. My husband actually likes his a little bit thinner than I do, but I prefer it a little more thick and less, I don't know, less liquidy to me. Let's try this. And that turned out exactly the way I wanted it to. Nice, just a hint of pumpkin to it. What you could do to dress this up, you can actually go over here to my drink station. For like parties and things, use either like small bowl. I haven't ordered any small bowls yet. Wow, that lighted me. That looked yellow for a second. You can either order small bowls, or I kind of like the look of like teacups on a platter with dessert things in them sometimes. That's just me. But you can actually like put it into here, and I'm gonna set this right here, and you can see the splash zone right here. That was what I meant by sometimes you'll need to you know, be careful that it's gonna splash out. Let's see if I can show you what I mean. And this could be a little bit thicker even for me, but again, this is about what I normally do, and I would clean around the edge of that, but I'm not going to right this second. And if you're doing this and you just want it and you don't care if it's low carb or not, you can use cinnamon and sugar, which the shaker feels empty. But what I'm going to do is go grab just the cinnamon. Ta-da! And we are going to just gently, that's not gentle. There we go. Gently sprinkle over top of it, and then you have an easy dessert. Like I said, if you want to add more texture to it, you can add a little bit of pumpkin to it, but that right there could be just an easy, quick throw to. I actually went somewhere one time and they're like, we need something to go with this cake, and this is literally what we threw together. She came in from playing outside while I was making it and wants to try it. Is that a you don't like it face or you do like it face? Because I'll take it back. While the tea is steeping, we're going to move over here to the mug. And this may just finish this off, and I may need more. Yeah, I did not start with open because, I mean, I already had open. I didn't want to like waste it. That actually may be just enough for 1 cup. I will try that. So, about a tablespoon to 2 of the heavy whipping cream was left in there. We're going to try the brown sugar cinnamon. I keep calling it brown cinnamon sugar or cinnamon brown sugar, but it's the sugar-free brown sugar and cinnamon. Last time I went to Walmart, they have it in the plastic bottles. This is the glass bottles that Amazon carries. And again, this is just like basically by taste, because I'm also trying to hold the camera while I do it. And just like a little splash of flavor. Also, the brown sugar and cinnamon is super strong, so it actually will not take much. And then the sea salt is about, it's literally what you would want. Some people don't like as much. They would prefer more sweet and just a little bit of salty. So for me, like, I literally barely dash it in, and that's it. I put maybe a teaspoonful, maybe even less than that in there. Again, coming to here. This I just rinsed off under warm water because I'm fixing to just use the exact same stuff again, just different flavor. With this, I am trying to not make it thick. So I will literally stop and go several times until I'm sure that it's just barely past like the thinness that it currently is and just thick enough to pour over tea. And it's kind of weird to explain, like, you want it to still be sloshy, but I think I still want it a little bit thicker than that. You could leave it at that. See what I mean? Like, it's definitely leaving behind a residue on the cup as I slosh that. You could leave it at that. But I think I want it to be a little bit thicker. So, again. And that's it. I mean, it won't take much. I'm gonna go a little more. If I mess this up, I'll just have to start over. And that cup is trying to make its way into the drain. All right, now you can see it's definitely a less bubbly, I guess is the way to put it. And once that tea is done, I think it's about done. It's been there for a few minutes. Let me check it. Let's check you. So I actually found one of our brands, I can't remember which one, now does like a split right here. So that whenever you wrap it around your mug, it's not gonna go anywhere. And I really like those, but this one wasn't. Okay, yeah. To me, once like if you splash around a little bit, it gets dark, it's good. I could leave it in, I know some people that do. I just hate leaving tea bag in if I'm putting milk foam in. It just feels weird to me, I don't know. Some people do it and they're fine with it, but I'm just, I don't know. I'm really weird about it. I am the weird one about it. All right, so there's the tea. And if I made this right, it will just pour over. Please just pour over. Yes, like that. You want it to be thick enough to where it just floats on top. And I have a child off camera begging for the empty mug. Here you go, you can take it. You hear excitement, yay. But yeah, see that right there? It actually could have been a little bit thicker, but that is what I wanted. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.